At some point, life stops asking you to learn more and starts asking you to understand deeper. Because knowledge without depth can still leave a person unchanged. You can know what is right and still not live it. You can understand discipline and still remain inconsistent. You can recognize truth and still avoid it when it becomes uncomfortable. That gap between awareness and action is where most human struggle lives. It is not ignorance that holds people back, it is misalignment. A person can see the road clearly and still refuse to walk it, because comfort is louder than conviction. Comfort does not always feel lazy. Sometimes it feels reasonable. It sounds like, not today. I will start tomorrow. I am not ready yet. Let me wait for the right time. And slowly, delay becomes identity. Not because the person lacks potential, but because urgency keeps getting postponed. But time does not negotiate with intention. It moves the same way for everyone, no matter how prepared or unprepared you are. That is why regret often arrives quietly. Not as one big moment, but as a series of small realizations. I could have started earlier. I knew what I needed to do. I kept waiting. Regret is rarely about lack of opportunity. It is about repeated hesitation. And hesitation is often disguised as thinking. Overthinking feels productive because the mind is active. But not all mental activity produces direction. Some thinking only creates loops, endless evaluation without execution. Meanwhile, life keeps moving forward. And while one person is analyzing every possibility, another person is building imperfectly. Imperfect action often outperforms perfect intention, because reality responds to movement, not theory. You do not get rewarded for knowing, you get shaped by doing. That is why experience is more transformative than information. Information stays in the mind, experience in the warrior's behavior. A person who touches pain learns differently from a person who only studies it. A person who fails learns differently from a person who only imagines failure. Life is not primarily academic, it is experiential. And experience is often the teacher people avoid but eventually cannot escape. Because life has a way of reintroducing lessons until they are understood properly. Not to punish, but to correct direction. That is why the same patterns repeat, different faces, different situations, same lesson underneath, until something changes internally. Growth begins when awareness turns into responsibility. Not blame, not excuses, responsibility. Responsibility is the moment you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this asking me to become? That question shifts everything, because it moves you from victim perspective to participant perspective. And once you become a participant in your own life, you regain influence over direction. You stop only reacting. You start choosing. Even if conditions remain difficult, choice still exists in how you respond. That is one of the most underestimated human powers. Response. Not control over everything, but control over interpretation and action. Two people can experience the same situation and leave it with completely different outcomes internally. One becomes bitter, one becomes wiser. The difference is not event, it is meaning assigned to event. Meaning shapes identity more than experience itself, and identity eventually shapes destiny. That is why inner dialogue matters. What you say to yourself when no one is listening is quietly building the direction of your future. If your inner voice is always critical, you begin to expand. If your inner voice is always honest and constructive, you begin to expand. Not through motivation, but through consistency of thought. And eventually, thought becomes action. Action becomes habit. Habit becomes identity. Identity becomes life. So the question is no longer only about goals. It becomes about internal organization. What kind of mind is being built inside you while you are trying to build a life outside you? Because both are happening at the same time. And the one you ignore often determines the one you get.